All right, and welcome back. We have a great matchup here for you at the Riverland PPA. Down here in Port St. Lucie, Florida, we have the Waters facing off. And as you can see on your screen right here, we're going to have Leigh Waters, 42, from Delray Beach, Florida, along with Anna Leigh Waters in her second of third final for the day, going for the Triple Crown. And they're going to be facing off along on the near side with Jessie Irvine, 32, from Los Angeles, and Catherine Parenteau, local from Naples, Florida.
Here we go.
So I'm excited about this one. These two teams have been facing off all year, battling each other all year. I don't think there's ever just been one team that has dominated the other.
1-0-2.
It's definitely going to be a lot of fireworks as they love to rip.
So we're starting it off 2 quick points. We're going to see Jessie taking the left. Now, the last time they were in this matchup as well, they had Jessie on the left. Yesterday, we saw Catherine a little more on the left. So they're a pretty dynamic team that likes to play certain spots due to the matchup. It's a great drop and close.
Well, and also it's interesting because you would think Anna Leigh Waters would play on the left since she's probably the most dominant player in the sport right now, but she tends to be on the right side a lot of times with her mom. I don't know if that's a strategy that they're implementing or if it's just maybe Leigh Waters feels more comfortable on the left. I'm not actually sure.
I have a few theories. I think Leigh feels more comfortable on the left. I think Anna Leigh is also a very versatile player in the fact that she has a backhand in the middle and a forehand in the middle. And if I had to choose between the two of if I'm playing Anna Leigh, which one I would rather go to, her forehand is dangerous, but her backhand, she just can do anything with, you know.
Dangerous.
So I think it gives them a formation of Leigh on her more comfortable side, and Anna Leigh can still be offensive as well. It's good reach in and flip back by Catherine. So I've seen Catherine do that quite a bit, and she seems to really kind of be getting a lot of points off of it. She'll take the backhand in the middle and take it back behind the person, which right now is Leigh. Ooh, she just played an out ball. That's the worst. It's my pet peeve when I do that to myself.
Well, yeah, and again, it just happens so quick. I think you have to make that split-second decision, and sometimes you guess right, sometimes you don't, and the indecision I found is the worst thing for that situation. There's another one, and there's a quick timeout. I mean, funny how we were talking about how Dillon and Johnson never called the timeout.
Waters will.
They called it so quick right there as the momentum has heavily swung to the 2 seed, Irvine and Parenteau. We'll be right back after this commercial break with Leah Jansen and Scott Golden. Back from that Jigsaw Health commercial. Just want to give a quick shout out, Leah, to the referees. They're doing a fantastic job. Larry Scott, Patricia Stewart, Julie Scott, and Andy Jones on point here for this women's pro doubles final.
They're the real all-stars. It's been a long, hot weekend for them, and they were here late last night.
Yeah, I got word that some of the referees were here till 1 a.m. and back up at the crack of dawn.
1 a.m.? So yeah.
It is a grind, no doubt about it.
Oh, that was going out too.
It was going out, but I think she had already made the decision that she was going to hammer that for a winner. And after hitting 2 of those out balls, I think she needed that one just to be able to reset and go, all right, if I'm going to hit an out ball, I might as well close it.
So it's interesting because we thought, nice pickup.
It's incredible, but Jessie Irvine returning the favor.
So I thought we heard Lucy say to us in the interview that Matt and Riley thought the side that the Waters were on was the good side.
The good side.
So the wind could have switched or slow start as well. Something to track.
7-0-2.
So
So-
go ahead.
It's amazing how much power a 15-year-old can possess, hitting those balls off the court.
0, 7,
Not
1.
too many. I would say Anna Leigh and Lucy Kovalova probably are in contention for the hardest hitters on the women's side. Jessie also can on certain shots as well.
I love that inside-out
Yes.
forehand from Jessie. She really opens up that wrist. There she lets it go. I mean, the attack is one thing, but you have to be ready either to defend it coming back, because it will come back, or let that ball go out.
Mm-hmm. South Florida crowd likes that.
The crowd, let's take a look at that replay as she does not waste any time putting that forehand away for a winner.
Where did Anna Leigh get her power from?
2, 7, 1.
That's that distinct sound when that Durafast 40 hits the net cord, just stopping it in its
2,
tracks.
7, 2.
Good duck.
Yeah, really nice job from Irvine letting that go.
Like we saw with Riley, I would say Irvine is one of the best on the women's side where she can leave. Oh, she leaves a lot of them.
Is that just a discipline thing in your mind? I don't know how you would train that or teach that, really. I think that's instincts.
I think you can. Like, I've had a few practice sessions with Tyson where we tried to work on out balls and just like where you're working on your speed ups and really trying to find your range and where the ball location is where you leave. Now, you have to do it quite a bit, and it's often a skill that you don't practice because how many skills are in pickleball?
Oh,
Nice. Oh, 2 Mr. X.
you gotta love that. Let's take a look at the replay.
1, 2. Whoops.
That's a 1-2 punch. Off-speed misdirects from Jessie Irvine. She's really feeling it right now.
So one thing, these two teams just faced off at the Aurora National Indoors with, and, oh, nice. One thing that I felt like Catherine and Jessie didn't do as much as they kind of let their foot off the pedal, but they also just targeted Leigh the whole time. Obviously, that is the target, but they're doing a good job of keeping Anna Leigh out of it, because if you don't keep her out of it,
That's what happens right there.
She's a force in that middle.
She's already won the mixed pro doubles with Ben Johns, feeling that confidence and momentum right now as they're up. Wow, what a drop.
All right.
So no stacking. They're just going to play upright for the Waters.
Wind kept that one.
The
in.
win for sure, but also I think it was just a little outstretched from Anna Leigh Waters' grasp.
3, 9, 2.
That's a good hands battle.
Well, and that's the type of point that the Waters want to get into
Yeah.
right here, is initiating the attack
Boom.
and then really just both of them hammering until they get what they want. Anna Leigh Waters not afraid to just speed a ball up at any moment.
No. She has the confidence that she will win that hands battle. So if she's oftentimes just looking to start it with you.
Nice movement here.
Yep, but you can see that Jessie and Catherine clearly have a game plan. They're not going to let Anna Leigh beat them in the middle. They're going to try and bring her out of it so they can either attack Leigh or make Leigh win the point. And she is very capable.
But there's a reason that they team up still.
So right there, she knows that Catherine's just going to try and get one back, but she's already pounding that middle. She just overcooked it.
Yeah, she knows exactly where to go with those balls. That one sailing long, as Leia just mentioned. Able to keep that one in. Let's take a look at that replay as she hammers that ball very close. On the replay, it wasn't that easy to distinguish if it was in or out, but Catherine talking to Jessie saying, hey, that ball is in.
I think Jessie wanted to appeal to the ref.
She was about to. We'll talk about this more in depth, but what do you think about not having line judges for these pro matches? I'm a big fan of not having them. I don't know how you feel.
Line judges? Yeah, last year we had a few, and I felt like there was a lot of people on a small court. Yeah. Just from a safety hazard situation, in singles, I almost ran into a few at a few times, you know? And that's dangerous for me and the ref.
Correct.
And I'm happy we have this video replay. See, I probably would have let Catherine just take that.
Well, I was thinking the same thing, but also Jessie was already all the way over there committing. So I think she was, in her mind, she was like, if I'm going to come over, I might as well take it. But I agree. I think she should have let Catherine have that one. Guys, we're going to take a break as the Waters have now shaved off that lead, down 2 with some momentum. We'll be right back after this. All right, as that title sponsor commercial from Tyrol comes to conclusion, we are now looking at a 7-9 deficit.
This is kind of like the men's match that we saw. Quick start, and then I think water settle in, the sides kind of come to play.
I mean, look, she's got to take some risk. One of the things I feel like the Waters do really well is initiating, so maybe she's trying to start the attack first to try to catch them.
I think it's good.
8-9-1.
Leigh made a great play there. I think she anticipated and slid that over. Keep going, though.
Yeah, one thing you'll see from the pros is if they miss a shot or they have a mistake, they go right back to it. They don't go away from it just because it didn't work once. Oh, great ball by Irvine. And then she just a little flick of the wrist right there. She didn't put anything on it. I think she saw the gap was there.
Yeah. I think they're gonna try and do that. They're gonna try and go behind Anna Leigh and really expose the middle, going maybe back behind her again or attacking themselves. It's a rare miss.
9-8-2.
Same attack.
Same attack. Finding that success.
So do you think now she's gone there twice, Leigh's countered twice, if you're playing, do you try it again or you change your location?
I think you change the location there. I don't think you go back to it 3 times. These pros are very smart. They're intelligent players, and they know, if they go twice to something and it doesn't work, they need to change it up.
no net love.
We've seen several from both sides that just hit the net cord and don't find its way over. Some of that, I think, could be the wind a little bit possibly, but some of it's, I think, just they're trying to keep the ball so low. It's such a small margin for error. They don't want to give the Waters any opportunity to attack and vice versa. Great communication as, you know, Irvine has a nice two-handed backhand, but the communication there was Catherine take that forehand, and it worked out.
9-9-1.
For people watching at home, pay attention to how the pros move on the court and when they stop. When the ball is going to get hit, they're usually stopped. That ball, what we would say, is shanked off the edge of the paddle, the top of that paddle for Leigh Waters.
Paddles down.
Paddles down. They are not afraid to use those timeouts, especially now at game point. The 2 seed taking a 1-point advantage. We'll see the conclusion of this match when we come back. All right, we're back to the action here as the number 2 seed, Irvine and Parenteau, find themselves in the driver's seat. What do you think they need to do here on game point to close this first one out?
10, 9, 2.
I think just get up there.
A little underwhelming, the crowd kind of a sigh of, oh. But again, they're just trying to keep that ball low. They don't want to get any opportunity to get it be attacked as they're making their way up. For that reason right there, if you leave that ball up, once Anna Leigh starts hammering on those forehands and backhands, you're in trouble.
Yeah, she has so much power when she swings from the mid-court. It almost kind of surprises you and kind of gets on you really quickly. There. See?
And it's in an awkward spot, so it's not like she can do much with it. Good spot there from Leigh.
Wow.
Oh boy, great anticipation from Parenteau to know where that ball is headed.
Oh.
Well, so what's the mindset of that, trying to keep it low and into the kitchen versus throwing a lob up and keeping the point alive? I mean, is she thinking reset there?
I think she, with the wind coming against them, this is the quote-unquote tougher side. It's just way too hard throwing a lob up. So we're just going to, I think she was thinking, I'm just going to try and drive to keep the point alive. But it's a lot tougher to do that. In Minnesota, we were seeing everybody just throw lobs up.
Right, Minnesota. Now, keep in mind also, they were into the wind, meaning that Parenteau's drive there was into the wind, might have knocked it down just a bit.
Yeah.
I really think that I thought they were going to work themselves out of that jam right there.
I thought so too. Catherine is the queen of defense, so for them to put that ball away it's pretty tough.
That's big. It's now another lead change, 11-10. Waters digging deep, finding a way to somehow flip the script and find themselves up 1 out of this timeout. What do they need to do now to close out this game 1?
So I don't want to jinx them, but I think the Waters are great closers because they put so much pressure on their opponents, and then they continue to put that pressure on. So in tight moments like this, you often find yourself making an unforced error because you're worried about Anna Leigh attacking, or if you're worried about leaving a dead dink up, and they really use that to their advantage because they're so aggressive.
Quickly, third shot drop or third shot drive?
I'm saying drive, but they're a whiff, so I'm going to say drop, actually.
Okay, drop. She changed her choice. I love it. Spot on.
Oh, yeah. Catherine was sitting on that. It's funny because attacks from last year that were working aren't working this year. The curl into the body, everyone is sliding over, and they've seen it over and over again.
Another drop. Very interesting way that game finished. I was expecting 2 third-shot drives. You said drop at the last minute. They dropped twice, got up to the non-volley zone, dinked until they found a ball they could attack. Game over. A lot of lead changes. Was it what you expected, Leia?
Yeah, it's always up and down with these two teams. It's going to be a battle.
Gotta love it, guys. Game 1 in the books, 12-10 to the 4 seed. The Waters are rolling right now. We've got Game 2 coming up after this commercial break. All right, as we make our way back out onto the championship court, you can look around and see the crowd is piled in. Bumper to bumper traffic in the human sense of the word. They are packed in like sardines here on Sunday, which is Championship Sunday, and Game 2 is about to get underway right now.
One, zero, two. Right out. Zero, one, one. Point.
All right.
One. Second, third.
Few loose airs right now to start with.
Yeah, I mean, it's
Getting
weird.
used to sides.
Yeah, the 2 minutes that they get to kind of cool off. Sometimes they start out a little bit slower. That one heated up real quick as that ball popped up to the backhand of Jessie Irvine.
She almost dunked that home.
I thought she was in the kitchen there for a minute.
2, 1, 2.
Nice close.
You know, it's nice to see the other team win a few firefight exchanges against the Waters as they shine in that category.
Oh, for sure. So one thing that I also noticed from playing is, so these courts are on a little bit of a slant, and then that slant also has the wind coming towards them. So not only are you fighting a firefight into the wind, you're fighting it uphill,
Slightly uphill
as well. So there were some times on mixed day that I thought I was out handsing some guys, and then the roles switch, and I was like, oh, it's not working.
4, 1, 2.
False alarm.
Yeah. All right, quick timeout.
An eye roll and a wow
from Leigh.
mouth from Leigh Waters as they call another quick timeout.
I mean, I think this is like one thing that I mean, you can learn a lot from the Waters. They're great champions, but one thing you guys want to learn: game management. I know playing against Anna Leigh in singles, if I get hot, that girl won't let me see 3 points in a row, and it's a good strategy.
So I should expect that when you play her a little
Oh
bit
yeah,
later.
if I get hot, I'm aware a timeout will be coming.
How do you, let's just talk about that. How do you handle that situation when you are feeling hot? How do you stay in that mindset for 60 seconds when it has to go by?
I mean, honestly, I just tell myself, oh, my opponents know I'm playing well. I take it as a compliment. That's what you kind of have to lie to yourself about, and you just got to use that as a refreshment break. I have my routine during my timeout, so I try not to just really think or do anything because I'm doing everything right. If you're doing everything right and things are going good, you don't need people talking to you. You don't need anything. You're all set and good.
Yeah, and are you pros aware that the majority of the time when there's a timeout called, that team that called the timeout comes out of the timeout winning the next point? Or do you guys?
I am very aware of that.
You're
That's
very
why
aware
I
of it.
started calling a lot of timeouts. Is I tracked Anna Leigh's timeout calls during
you're
our
like-
matches in singles.
You're like,
It's-
shoot, this is working on me.
Yeah.
Definitely.
There's something about just breaking the momentum that is like this unsung thing that works sometimes. Let's see if it works.
The one mistake was going high to Anna Leigh's forehand. They had a good game plan. They were going after Leigh Waters, staying on her. The moment Irvine switched it, she made her pay for it.
That one's trouble as well.
And one thing, if you watch on the replay, watch how Anna Leigh Waters goes that way with the ball, where most people would go down the middle. She's going kind of off the right hip, which is very hard to predict. So they got 2 in a row after the timeout, so it did prove to be correct.
2-5-2.
No, that's into the wind, stays in.
Right, and that's interesting because she froze those 2 up, and that ball was well inside the baseline.
I think this is where this team can get exposed a little bit because they both play both sides. Sometimes the middle coverage is like that ball was Jessie's, but Catherine didn't quite slide over a little bit, so Jessie didn't slide over, and then she could sneak it through the middle. Sometimes when the formation changes a little bit, they get a little bit mixed up. Sometimes.
Some hesitation,
yeah,
maybe.
sometimes, not all the time. There's just a few times I notice when they're switching a lot during the course of the match that there can be some middle confusion.
Very well done. I thought the speed up from Anna Leigh Waters early in the point was going to get it done. It got back to reset, neutral position, and then ultimately Waters letting that out ball go.
5-5-2.
Another comeback. I mean,
Well,
look
the
at this timeout. Look at this.
I mean, it's evident, right? Down 5-1, call a timeout, now you're 5-5.
Wow.
So, in my opinion, on this replay, you can't coach this type of athleticism.
No.
She's falling away from the ball, leaning out, and hits a winner through the middle on 2 top pros.
That's Anna Leigh being Anna Leigh.
Yeah, there's no defense for that type of thing, and you really don't see that coming. Most people there, for example, would try to hit a reset. Not her. She's hitting a winner. All right, guys, we're going to take a commercial break. We'll be back after this. All right, so we've got a lead change after getting down 1-5. They call that timeout. We talk about it being a factor. They come out of the timeout, and all of a sudden, now here they are, 6-5 with some momentum. Let's see if the other side can change the tide with their timeout. She kind of gasped, but I think she realized it was definitely just wide.
All right, they needed that side out.
5-6-1.
Let's see if they can do something with it.
Second service.
Big gust that just happened.
I actually thought it was going to help her. It was gusting in the way going there, but she still came up a little short. Boy, that return right there was insanely good. Catherine asking Jessie, her partner, did you see it? Was that ball in or out? But she couldn't tell.
Couldn't tell.
Point.
That's what, I mean, a lot of their points just come off the driving crash. No,
7-5-1.
for me personally, I would start hitting a few more balls, thirds to Anna Leigh. Her poach is just a little more potent and intimidating than Leigh's. And Leigh's just seeing a lot of thirds. And Leigh was a stud tennis player. She's got a good drive. And when her drive is on, it's just, we kind of fall into this trap of, well, you want to avoid Anna Leigh, and that is true, but Anna Leigh is also a great off-ball player.
Like Ben
There we go.
Johns.
So And even though they got in, like they had to scrap and claw for that point rather than Leigh drive, quick poach. The Waters want quick points. Jessie and Catherine want long points. They want to
Grind it
make
out.
them work for it.
Great drop there, and another attack. That's similar to what she did before that timeout at 5-5, but that one she was falling a little too far away.
6, 7, 1.
I'm also a little biased because I want some long points too for Anna Leigh.
Oh, for sure. There's a little, yeah, a little motive there. Leigh referring to the fact that she's going to be playing Anna Leigh Waters later. But at 15, do you really get tired?
6, 7,
I still think 3 full matches like this is a little much. Not a little much. It's tough. It's definitely like a fitness test. We play all year, we train all year, and then by championship Sunday, you've also played all weekend, 3 events deep. So you're feeling it. Not maybe she's not feeling it as much physically, but mentally, there's always that mental test as well. You can be mentally fatigued at 15 for sure. And at 29.
Oh my goodness. Look at the angle that. Oh boy, that's a heartbreaker for Irvine as she teed off on that forehand, but just didn't get it to roll over. But the defense off of that sharp angle from Irvine's forehand was crazy. All right, so those are lets here at the PPA. Amateur division does not redo this. This is only for the pro level. Immediate timeout from Irvine. I mean, the ball had not even hit the ground yet.
Yeah, she knew it.
She was already yelling timeout, so that's very smart. As Waters going up 2-0 is not good for Parenteau and Irvine, the 2 seed. Guys, we're going to take this commercial break. Anna Leigh Waters and her mother, Leigh Waters, in control. We'll be back after this. The Waters finding their way back onto the court, having a quick conversation as they're up 9-6, also up a game. Irvine, Parenteau looking focused coming out of this timeout as they know they cannot afford to go down 2-0. Oh, there's a ball. I actually think that Irvine just assumed that Parenteau was going to take that coming up with the backhand, and she did not.
Yeah, I think the off-ball person, she knows she should have taken it because the off-ball person just standing at the net, it's an easier one.
That's
a tough.
Back-to-back unforced errors there. Now, down, let's talk about this real quick. You're down 2-0 against the Waters, who like to ratchet up the pressure, especially being up comfortable 2 games. But we did see the Waters a couple tournaments ago, maybe back at the end of 2021, against, I think, Simone and Lucy up 2 games and up like 8-1 in the third. Came back and lost that series in 5. It's not ever over till it's over, is it?
No. I mean, I think you kind of have to treat a best of 5 as like one game in its own. You saw JW and Dylan get down 2 games to love, but then they won that game and they got a little bit of momentum before the injury timeout. So I think right now, honestly, this is what I do when I get down 2 games to love, is I say, okay, best 2 out of 3 right now, you know?
Ah, okay, so you're thinking, okay, it's best 2 out of 3 at this point in your mind.
In my mind, and you're tricking yourself not thinking you got to win all 3.
That's actually interesting, thought process. Does it work for everybody? Maybe, maybe not. But for you, that's just a way for you to just shed that idea that you're down, maybe looking up a huge mountain.
Yeah.
You put it down into a smaller size.
Yeah. I mean, you gotta break it down. Otherwise, it just seems a little bit daunting, the task in front of you.
Very cool. We're gonna take a break, and we'll be right back after this. All right, as we come back, and the crowd loving every minute of this championship Sunday. They're just soaking it up. It's a little cooler than what we would have wanted, but turned out to be a pretty nice day.
leave. And you can see why South Florida is kind of a hub now in pickleball. You're from South Florida. You play and train with all the great players there as well. But look at the crowd. Like, we got a lot of fans. We got a lot of players here.
Absolutely. You know, South Florida is packed with talent, West Coast to East Coast. And we're fortunate enough to have the Waters in Delray Beach, Florida. Really a privilege to get to be around them.
It's the right spot right there.
One.
All right, so they're keeping Jessie on the left, and right now just kind of being down, and this is the same one that they, yeah, okay, they're gonna keep the stay here. I do think it's good to note we have 3 Florida girls on the court, and we have Jessie, who is from California. So
The Cali girl.
yes, the Cali girl, coming from the West Coast, along with Jessie as well. We were a little spoiled last weekend at the Minnesota Indoors, where this week we are facing the elements that we don't ever really face. So it's very tough.
I know the times I've gone to California, it's been for pickleball stuff, and it's
The ball flies over there.
It flies, and there's
We
not
love
a lot
it.
of wind typically. It's pretty calm.
Yeah, I always say it's like,
Real quick, let's talk about that. You said that the middle ball sometimes can get a little hazy for
Yes.
these two. We just saw that played out right there.
yeah. So what's your kind of thought on it? Do you think, I would see another timeout right here. Do you think,
Yeah, there you go. You called it.
okay.
No, go ahead.
Do you think having design set roles on a team is good, or do you think like one person play one side, or you think the fact that you can constantly switch up is a good thing to have as well?
Well, it's funny because watching 5 years of pickleball, and especially now over the last few years in pro pickleball, it comes down to preference for each individual team, because you've got somebody like Matt Wright, who in mixed doubles, you know, he's a huge factor being on the left, but he's willing to play the right side with Riley Newman some. So it just really, it depends on, I think, the matchups and stuff. I think with these two in particular, and you tell me if you think different, but I think they're both used to taking that middle ball, but now they're getting hesitant because they don't want to clash paddles.
Yes.
So they're giving leeway to each one, and the communication is just breaking down a little bit, I think.
Yes.
All right, guys. Waters and Waters quickly up 5-1 in the third. If they don't reel this in, this could get ugly in a hurry in game 3.
Crazier things have happened. See if they can just reset. A lot of it has just been kind of on loose airs. All right, there we go.
Well, and that's another testament to the timeout. It cools that team off just a bit and allows you to hit the reset button coming out with a little more focus.
Mm-hmm.
Jessie Irvine there with a big deep breath after missing that serve.
There you go. Sometimes hitting your best shot is what you need to get going.
And just seeing that point being put up on the board, too,
Yes.
you know. And they're stacking now, looks like, with Catherine on the left because it's stacking on even.
Yeah, I ask the question sometimes because sometimes I think in tighter moments, there's not that, if there's not that set role of this person do this, you can see confusion happen. And when we're under stress and we're under, you know, a lot of pressure, it can kind of come off the seams. The most dominant women team that we have seen, Lucy and Simone, had very set roles. Right now we're seeing Callie and Lucy with very set roles. We're seeing Anna Leigh and Leigh with very set roles. So with these two, they're both so talented and versatile on both sides that sometimes the constant switch up can get confusing.
I saw this unfolding right in front of us. Let's take a look as Anna Leigh Waters was on the move. She was not going to be denied, but Catherine Parenteau having other plans.
I think that's the one poach that didn't work for her today.
Yeah, that's very few times does she not execute on that.
You got to hit almost the line and stretch her full. Ooh, she's on it.
One, that is one of the dangers of sliding to the right to hit that two-handed backhand on that side, is that if you overcook it, it's going out.
Yep.
Wow. That's incredible. Catherine Parenteau really bowing up there. They found a little glimmer of hope here in game 3. Long way to go, though.
That helps.
That always helps.
And
I think
timeout, I bet it.
you're pretty good with this. You've seen this once or twice.
I can call him.
I think so far, I believe you're 3 for 3 on that. Literally, that's fantastic. Guys, we're going to take this opportunity to take a break. We'll be right back after the commercials for the conclusion of Game 3. All right, guys, as we come back from this timeout, let's talk a little about body language. Right now, Jessie Irvine and Catherine Parenteau not looking like their body language is that of a team that's got the momentum. How do they change that here in Game 3?
Yeah, it's a little tough. They're probably feeling a little overall discouraged, but that's sometimes what can happen. A lot of it, I mean, so for Jessie, she's a super fiery player. Catherine, I actually think when she gets a little bit loud, I notice in singles when Catherine's getting loud, that's good for Catherine and bad for me. So if I were them, I would, after a good point, a big point, just fire it up. Take Julian Arnold's words from him right there.
Gotta love Julian Arnold. He yells something in Italian every time he hits like a fiery shot.
Yeah,
I don't even know
can't
what
pronounce it.
I'm not even gonna try on air.
7-4-1.
Right, they've closed the gap a little bit. It's 7-4.
It was right there. Just anything like a little bit of something to get you going, because you can kind of still see they're a little defeated and reserved. And granted, it's an unforced error, but just a little bit of fire. I notice Anna Leigh really does it well. She'll use your mistake, and I don't think she's doing it for gamesmanship. She's just using it to give herself energy when she's down. Yeah.
That was good. I heard Irvine say out softly, but then Parenteau battling for her life. The ball goes by her, and she's like, my bad. You know, I realized I shouldn't have hit that, but it's just in that moment, it's so hard to lay off of those.
They need this one right here.
They need that. They need a stop, even if it's one that's an unforced error from the other team. At this point, they'll take anything, right?
Oh, yeah, for sure. And I think they're against, right?
Yet the wind is into the face of Parenteau and Irvine. She's apologizing, but I actually don't think that was intentional at all.
It's not.
You ladies like to go straight on, torso to torso. That's very common, and I think that, you know, unintentionally that ball maybe came up a little bit too high.
No, and Leigh knows it. If she started it, she usually does finish it. I think Catherine just got it in a great spot by re-countering to the same place it came from.
For sure.
We're always closing to the open gap.
Irvine needed that right there. She had just missed the third shot the point before, and that was big right there for her mentally. It's only 6-8.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like a little bit of a fist pump, a little bit of something, really just to kind of let the other team know you're here. You want them to feel you as well.
She's really taking her time, being methodical with these drops moving up. It's a great ball there. I think we're seeing a turn for Irvine as she just took a big sigh of relief as they close the gap now to 1. That's a huge deal.
See, that's a huge point right there. You got to let them feel it.
Oh, they're feeling it.
And because they take a timeout, they are thinking about it.
100%. They're within one. It's within reach. Certainly, Parenteau and Irvine have an opportunity coming out of this timeout to tie the game up and really change that momentum. We'll see that, guys, when we come back. You were just, Leia, talking about that Jigsaw commercial.
That's their best one right there. That's just too good.
By far the best one.
There you go. Get some confidence going.
Well, and there's the fist bump and the high five and the come-ons. That's where they really start to pick things up, and the momentum can shift.
You could tell Jessie was closing hard in on that one. She was taking her time before. She's starting to feel like her drops are dropping. Oh, jeez. I just jinxed her.
Yeah, good defense there. That one got hammered. There's another little high five between the two of them. You can see the synergy starting to really gel there.
Yeah, a wise person just told me a few days ago that to take it one moment at a time, and people don't really realize how hard that is. It looks like Jessie and Catherine are starting to feel it, and if they just take it 1 point at a time for these next couple, it's a whole new life.
Well, and I think just taking the lead would be a big deal at this point as it's tied 8-8. Again, she went right back to the same shot. I mean, to be honest, that shot is probably the most difficult shot to keep that in off the left hip when you're on the far side.
Oh, that's
good. Such a good shot by Jessie.
So good.
I mean, if Anna Leigh Waters can't track that one down, it's pretty fantastic.
8-8-2.
Yeah. It's a good speed up. It's a good spot. She jammed her up right in the chest.
A 1-point advantage. Nice recovery.
Oh my gosh.
Oh boy, she got it. Catherine really digging deep to get that ball. Oh, and Jessie Irvine switching hands to try to get that angle and cut it off. Let's take a look at that replay. She stretched fully out. She knew that angle was coming from Anna Leigh Waters as it was cranked on with that two-handed backhand. What a point. They're going to keep Anna Leigh Waters at game and match point on the left. And there it is. Irvine knew, looking around at the wind. Not going to be a game 4 in the horizons.
Waters.
The Waters close it out.
This is their first PPA title of the year, yeah?
I think it's the first one of the year, and it also keeps that triple crown intact for Little Waters to do her thing against you.
I'm going to go get ready for that.
Leah Jansen's going to take this microphone off and go prepare for that. Hopefully, we see a fantastic men's pro singles and women's pro singles coming up after this break. Scott Golden will be right back after this commercial break.
And welcome back, everyone, to the PPA Riverland Open. I've got our champions here, Anna Leigh Waters' mom, Leigh Waters. Guys, huge congratulations. It's such an incredible achievement to finish off a team as good as that one in just 3 games. Talk about what part of your game was just working and just better today.
Well, we haven't won a PPA title. We've been in a lot of finals, but we haven't won a women's title since Orlando. So I think we were just super pumped to go out there and, show that we can win another title. And during the match, we were just trying to play our game. I mean, it's super windy out here, but, we did our best and we fought, and here we are.
Leigh, a lot of players, and not players, but spectators and fans are asking about these PPA agreements that a lot of you have signed with us, which we thank you for that. But why was it for your family the right decision?
Yeah, I mean, the PPA is the best tour. I mean, they have the best locations. They treat us amazing. They have tons of spectators. When I say that I win on the Pro Tour, I want to say that I beat the best, and the best players are at the PPA tournaments. I mean, and nobody can argue that. So, so for us, it was the right decision, and I mean, it's just been awesome so far.
We love having you guys on tour here. I want to ask you, you guys have amassed quite a bit of winnings at this point, a lot of prize money. What are you doing with it? And don't just say saving it. I want something better than that.
Well, we are saving it, but we like shopping, so usually if we win a big title or something, we'll go to the mall and we'll go in some probably too expensive store. We probably shouldn't be in there, and my dad gets nervous, but we do go in there and we get something nice to remember that tournament by.
Oh, I love that. Leigh, same thing from you?
Yeah, absolutely. We usually get a piece of jewelry so that, like Anna Leigh said, it's a remembrance and we can share it and it's special. So.
I love it. Congratulations again, ladies. Anna Leigh, we're going to see you later on for that singles. You are going to try for that triple crown. We can't wait to see what will happen against Leah Jansen later. Scott.
I did my part.
Mom's done. She's all done, guys. Congratulations to you both. Scott, back over to you.